Hello everybody. Today we'll discuss types of farming. In previous class we have discussed the introductory part of this chapter. Okay, types of farming. Basically cultivation method depends upon the characteristics of the physical environment, technological know-how and socio-cultural practices. Okay, and farming varies from subsistence to commercial type. Okay, we'll see them one by one. Okay, first we have primitive subsistence farming. Okay, it is obvious by name itself. Primitive means something that is old. Okay, subsistence meaning anything for the self-consumption. Okay, subsistence farming. Okay, it is also called slash and burn agriculture. Okay, here basically farmers clear a patch of land and produce cereals and other food crops. Okay, so when the soil fertility decreases, the farmers, what they'll do, they'll shift to a fresh patch of land and clear that patch of land for cultivation again. Okay, so that is how it's done. So if you see this pictorial diagram, so first secondary forest, primary forest. Okay, so they cut down the forest, burn them down, okay, and then grow the crops. Okay, and after once they finish growing crops, they leave that particular land for fallow. Okay, so fallow basically to regain the fertility, and then they again use it for cultivation, or they leave it for the secondary and primary forest to grow. Okay, that is how the primitive subsistence farming. Okay, I said it's also called slash and burn agriculture. Okay, but they are called by different names in different place. Okay, for example, in Northeast India we call them as a zoom cultivation. But I'll just show you your textbook. If you go through your textbook on first page, at first page itself, you'll find, I'll just zoom in. Yeah, so zoom cultivation, slash and burn agriculture. Just know the names. Okay, they are called by different names, different places. Okay, some important features to keep in mind in primitive subsistence farming. Okay, first, land productivity is very low in this type of agriculture. Why? Because they totally depend on the nature. Shade for the irrigation, shade for the fertility. Okay, insecticides, no technology is used here. Everything is done manually. Okay, that is why it is called primitive subsistence farming. This type of farming depends on monsoon for irrigation. Okay, this farming is practiced in few parts of India. Okay, you won't find everywhere, only at remote places. Okay, and also tribal areas, hilly areas, you will find this type of farming. Okay, we'll see next, intensive subsistence farming. Okay, so this type of farming is practiced in areas of high population. Okay, so what happens if there is high population? There will be high demand for food, right? But in the areas of high population, the land is very limited. So as the land is very limited, so they won't go to introduce lots of machines. Okay, like that. So everything will be labor intensive. Okay, labor intensive farming. So what happened? Since it's a small patch of land, in order to get bumper crops from small patch of land, what they'll do, they'll endorse. Okay, they'll introduce into a lot of biochemical inputs, irrigation, okay, pesticides, fertilizers. Okay, so that is how intensive subsistence farming is done. Next we have commercial farming. So it's very obvious by name, commercial meaning something related with business, right? So modern inputs, they use lots of modern inputs such as high yield varieties of seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides are being used, pesticides for higher productivity. Okay, so we'll see some major features. Here single crop is grown on a large areas. Okay, such as you see a tea plantation. Okay, banana plantation, rubber plantation, sugarcane plantation. Okay, so single crops grown on a very large areas for the commercial purposes. Okay, they create a link between agriculture and industry. Because how? Because it's the commercial farming that produce raw material for the industries, and it's very capital intensive. Why? Because to cultivate in this huge farm land, they require lots of technology, they require lots of money, lots of expenditure, high budget. Okay, so because of which it's a capital intensive. Okay. And then it require lots of laborers, and the laborers would basically stay around this field, okay, in an area or close by, because it won't be possible for them to commute from very long distance. Okay, so basically migrant laborers are involved in commercial farming. I hope it's pretty much clear the types of farming. Okay, well, you have any queries, you can always comment below. Okay, I'll respond to it. You can drop in your email if you want me to send you the notes, okay, and also the class notes, exercise notes. Okay, even this PPT I can send it to you. Well, that's it for today. Take care of yourself, stay tuned with your books, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.